Hello and welcome to another day on Cornwall Pocket Farm. My name is Jenny and I thought I'd just show you a few bits and pieces that I've got recently. Well, a few bits and pieces. My sewing room table is absolutely covered. I have to show you my sewing room because it's somewhat chaotic. These are all the lovely goodies that I got from the Fabric-a-brac event, plus some things that I got from the charity shops that need fixing and mending. There is over here there's a project which I have reclaimed from the sort of the permanent naughty pile, so that's back in play. Right under here are the trousers that I am working on that I do need to finish. But yeah, as you can see, it is all sparkles and bows and buckles and jackets and fur and gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous things. But I just thought I'd show you that first, because now I've got to clear it up because I want to do some videoing in here and there really isn't any room to start. So what have I got on my desk? Well, this chaos is the sort of composition of actually a few days. I went charity shopping and found some really good things, as you probably would have seen in another video already by now. I then went to a Fabric-a-brac event. So a friend of mine told me about it and I was so pleased that she did because it was just amazing. Of course, when I went to the that's going to be hard to say, isn't it? When I went to the Fabric-a-brac event, I particularly was looking out for a bunch of 1920s-esque trim, feathers, of all those sorts of things. So, what have I got on my table? Oh, and also, another friend of mine gave me a really nice gift. So, I shall show you. Oh no, and my daughter gave me a gift. I've got so many things to show you. So let's start off with something that my daughter gave me. It's, hopefully, can you see that? It's a license to hold a bad reputation. That is absolutely brilliant. The holder of this bad reputation is entitled to disregard the opinions of others and truly be themselves. Certified in accordance with the powers invented by the Lonely Animal Friendship Society. Now do have a look online at the Lonely Animal Friendship Society. It's a gentleman that works with my daughter and he does the most amazing things. Absolutely amazing. So do, if I can find a link, I'll put it down in the comments or on the screen or somewhere. Do go and have a look because they are the most amazing things. And I was so pleased to get my bad reputation license. I shall cherish that. That's so wonderful. And then a friend of mine gave me some knitting books. Vogue knitting books. This knitting book I'll have to do a look through and show you because this is the most glorious knitting book. It is full of ink. Oh, you probably can't see, the lighting's not great, but I think I will do a look through for you because they're so beautiful. There are so many glorious, gorgeous 1950s images and knitting patterns and just the styling and the style is so me, but just beautiful. So really pleased, and I can definitely say I'm going to be making something out of this book. This one's a little later. This is a Vogue knitting book from the 60s. And again, there's some quite nice basic things in here. This is just a little bit more on the edge of the sort of things that I wear. But certainly there are some lovely twin sets and things in here. So, oh, and some dresses. I'd like to knit a dress. I don't know if I could do that, but I don't see why not. No, you just keep knitting. It's like walking. Put one foot in front of the other. You just keep knitting really, and then eventually you'll have a dress, won't you? So yes, some absolutely glorious things. So I've got those two knitting books, which are very, very precious, and I really enjoyed them. So my daughter had a look through, and she really enjoyed those too. And then, what else have I got? Let me go in order of chronological order. So the next thing I did was go to the charity shop, and you would have seen this hopefully already in a video, but I got my lovely 1920s flapper-esque dress from a charity shop. How 20s is this? I mean, clearly it's a little too big on the top, but I think I could just take it in a little bit and it would fits well on the hips. It's the right size there. It's got this asymmetric sort of point here and then an asymmetric point there. So yeah, really pleased with the sort of the styling. It's really quite 20s, and I think it will do the job. And of course, hopefully it's coming up. I probably need some sort of evening light, but hopefully you can see it sort of glittering and things. It's completely sequins all over. So there's sort of like a grey, silver and black sort of geometric pattern. I also got the velvet monstrosity, the what are we calling it? The costume company velvet number. Yeah. It's got potential. It has got potential. I'm sure of it. I like the fringing, and it's got little holes here, and it's got a sparkly thing. I think it's supposed to be like that. I don't know. But whatever. It's not going to stay like this. Yes, creative juices I think are needed in this to try and figure out what to do with it. My fringe is actually unfringing. It's coming unravelled. So I don't know if anybody knows how to stop this stuff unravelling. It wasn't unravelling before I washed it, but I needed to wash it desperately. But I am thinking that maybe it would make a rather nice, if I can make it a rather nice thing. It's the sort of thing that I'm thinking would be for the ball, if I can make it work. And then the other thing that I found in the charity shop was this lovely jacket. Now, I will, of course, insert a bit here with me wearing it in full length because you can't really see it in here. But I thought it was really, really lovely. I'm feeling very much a sort of Grace Jones vibes. Is that just me? I mean, just rocking my 90s self, maybe. I don't know. Or was she the 80s? I don't know. But yes, it makes me feel a little bit Grace Jones, I have to say. Now, obviously, excuse my composite outfit. You know what it's like when you've been ill and then you just put some clothes on. Yeah, it's possibly not the most fetching ensemble, but I am just showing you the jacket. What I will wear this with, I'm not really sure. Obviously, I wasn't planning to buy this. I was looking for jackets for my husband. Not quite sure how I'm going to wear it yet, but couldn't walk past it. It is a lovely wool. It's beautiful wool. And it's really nicely made as well. So it's got a nice weight to it. Yeah, really pleased with this. So that jacket I really, really like. There is a little bit of damage on the pocket. I think somebody's caught the pocket, maybe on a door handle or something. Nothing major. I mean, I had to look really, really, really hard and then found it. So what I'll do is basically just unpick the lining a bit, put a little interfacing behind it just to sort of support the fabric, and then stitch through and just stitch the pocket a little bit more onto it. And you really, really won't notice it at all. As I say, I had to look hard for it. But that will just strengthen that area. So very pleased with the jacket. Where are we on my table of stuff? Then of course I have my project in play at the moment. This was all I was making. Just before I got ill, this was it. I was just slowly trying to work through these trousers. This was going to be the next video on the channel. There's a bit more to do, but it was a slow make and I was just sort of slowly getting there. So these still need to be finished. I have wonderful ideas that I'd like to finish this for the trip and wear these, but whether that'll happen I don't know. I think I might be taking my bottle green cord trousers instead, but who knows. If the wind is all in the right direction, there's a slim chance. So that's the project I'm working on at the moment. Then patterns. So there were some vintage patterns at the Fabric-a-brac. So we're now on to the, should we start with the Fabric-a-brac? No, hang on, let's finish with the 1920s stuff. So this is the remnant, this is the headband that I used with that 1920s thing when I wore it, which you saw in that video in the reveal. That's the headband. I was never that fussed with the headband, but it just sort of, it was a quick way of making a 1920s look, if you like. But I think what I'm going to do is actually use this in the dress and then maybe just sort of try and make up some sort of hair piece that's a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit less cartoon 1920s. But this is what I have left of the sari fabric. So I have a good amount of the white, and then it goes into the blouse fabric, which is that different colour at the end. And the fabric has the splash trim on the bottom, and then it has the navy border at the bottom and at the top. So my plan is to actually use the full width fabric. That then just comes to my, my ankles, my calves. And if I made a 1 hour dress with this, I mean basically it's just rectangles, I think that I would have well enough. And then I think I might use this as some sort of tie around the neck. That's my thoughts at the moment. So, and then the entire sari of art silk, we're calling it art silk because one of my commenters, when I said it was polyester probably, they said, no, it's art silk. And I love that. So, art silk it is. So that is the 1 hour dress fabric and accoutrement. Right, that's the 20 stuff that I had and bought from the charity shop. Right, next is what I got from Fabric-a-brac. Right, got it. So I bought four vintage patterns. It is a beautiful, I think in America you call them jumper dresses, don't you? I would call that a sort of a pinafore dress. So it's a lovely pinafore dress with a full skirt and some really interesting sort of deep hem details down here. It's lovely. It is actually, as they say on the internet, factory folded. This thing has never been cut. It says bust sizes 30, 32, 34, 36 and 38. How they make all that in one pattern, and this, I don't know, maybe it's sort of instructions on how you adapt it from the one pattern, because it's not a printed pattern, it's one of those patterns with holes in it. So I've yet to explore that, but it's factory folded, so yay. And then this one is another really lovely dress. I mean, that is such a beautiful style. I love the neckline. Obviously, I will need to do some alterations on this because there won't be enough in the hips. But I think, yeah, definitely, that is me. I like that. Then I found a lovely blouse pattern. I thought that was rather unique. Now, I always find that it's very, very difficult to find blouse patterns. Woven blouse patterns, they're just like hen's teeth. You can't find them anywhere. You can buy a few shirt patterns, but tops are really hard to find. So I thought that was lovely. It's got a really nice sort of sleeve detail here. There's a sort of a bow neck thing, and then this, I don't know, is this a reva collar they call it, maybe? Short sleeve, long sleeve, very pleased with that. And then the last one I got was another slip, because it's, I know I've got this lingerie project. My lingerie project so far has just involved buying lingerie patterns, but when I went through all the lingerie patterns that I've actually been collecting, I've realised that they're all modern and they're all for stretch synthetic knits essentially, and that's not what I'm planning to make my lingerie out of. I'm planning to make them out of wovens. So this is a pattern for wovens. It's a really lovely slip, and then also some knickers. I don't know, pants, whatever you call them in your part of the world. What do they call them? Yes, do let me know. What do you call them in your part of the world? I know when I was growing up they were always called pants, but when I moved to New Zealand, pants are trousers. They're not knickers anymore, and they call them knickers here. So yes, underwear. But surely it's all underwear. So anyway, there is a really lovely slip. The interesting thing about this slip I noticed in the instructions is it actually says to put a zip in the side, which I think is quite strange. I think if I do this one, I'll do it with poppers and a hook at the waist and then some poppers either side. So those are the four patterns that I got. Very pleased with those four. Then I got this faux fur. It's beautiful quality. It's black, so you won't be able to see it. It's a shame because it's very snuggly, but I haven't got that much of it. It's an off-cut bit. There's a dangly bit here, and there's an off-cut bit. So it's difficult to say how much there is, and what I'm going to be able to get out of it. But it is a nice. It's a nice quality, and yes, it feels like a nice quality faux fur. So I was pleased with that, and all of these things were ridiculously cheap. I mean, I think I got all this faux fur. I think was about $10. The trims. Wait until I show you the trims. But most of these trims were $2, $2 or $5. This trim, I'll show you. I've got one roller trim for $1. Anyway, the other thing that's on my table is, you remember me talking about the wool dress, the faded wool dress, which I've yet to decide what to do with. I was considering putting it in the Forever Naughty corner, and that just reminded me that there was something else in the Forever Naughty corner, and I went to find it. It wasn't there anymore. And what I actually done is taken it out of the Forever Naughty corner and put it back in my fabric scraps box to be cut up and reused for other things. But I actually decided that I wanted to carry on making it, so I have pulled it out. It's a mess. It's covered in fluff, and it's crumply. But this is this the right way up? Yes. Look, it's half made. I've got like sort of darts and all the rest of it in the back. See, there's always fluff all over it. Yes, it's not been well cared for. It's been a scraps box. So clearly there's a bit of oh, excuse me, still struggling with this cold. So there's a bit of work to do on it yet, but I made this, or started making this dress, when I was still working in an office, in a corporate environment. This was going to be a work skirt. It's a suiting wool, black pinstripe, and I thought, and it has a lining. Here, got half-made lining as well that goes with it. They just never joined up. So I put it in the scratch box because I think, oh, I'm not in an office anymore. When am I ever going to wear this? And when I was in France for my daughter's wedding, we went over on a Europe trip. Was it last year, the year before? Oh, I lose track. I picked up in one of the stores a sort of a white shirt that sort of has like a man's bib collar type piece on it with pin tucking through. And I just thought that would be amazing with like a pinstripe skirt to put that shirt on with this. And all of a sudden when I went back in to find this, I decided to resurrect it. So I don't know how long this has been in that box. 4 years at least. So that's not bad, is it, for a project? But it's now back out on my sewing table and is a live work in progress. It's a live whip now. And it will be finished, I think, because I've all of a sudden decided that it would make quite a nice outfit. And if I had more time, I would like to finish this and make a sort of a slightly Bonnie and Clyde sort of outfit for the deco. I've had all these ideas for the deco weekend, but of course I'm not going to finish it, and I have no intention of trying. I know I would never do this for the weekend as well. But that would make a really nice Bonnie and Clyde type style outfit. Anyway, so that is the whip that I found. Now, trims. Oh, and that's that weird stretchy headband thing. It's very costume, sort of cartoon 1920s, isn't it, I think? Yeah, I think that might be going back to the charity shop. Or maybe, I'm thinking I might be able to take that bit off and maybe incorporate it in some other sort of hair adornment type thing, maybe? Because that's actually quite nice beading work with some sequins on it. It's just the stretchy headband thing that's a bit, yeah. Anyway. Trims. What trims did I get? Well, unbelievable really. Trims like this, I don't know what they're like with you, but in New Zealand they are really expensive. So I've got this trim. So that is a sort of a beaded trim that you sort of, I think you catch in a seam and have the beaded trim, the beads sort of hanging out. So I got that one. It says 6 meters for $5. Not $5 a meter. $5 for the entire card. So that's less than $1 a meter for that. And it's beautiful beaded trim. Really pleased with that. I got this, which is some really lovely sort of actual real feathers. So feathers and beads. I got that for $2 and there's about 2 meters on there. How to show something black. Okay, I'm going to put it on this grey piece here. That might be easier for you to see. Okay, so this lovely sort of a plique button thing. So essentially this comes apart in 2 pieces. But I think for the time being this is going to be something I'm going to use on the velvet dress, but I'm only going to tack it because it's so beautiful. I would want to reuse it, I think, on another project. So there's that. Then I got this lace, which again, absolutely gorgeous. Sequin, really wide, sequined, embroidered, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. 5 meters of that, and I think I got this one for $2 for the card, the whole card, not per meter. Really pleased with that. this one, whole roll, look, price is on, $1. $1. And it is heavily sequined trim. I mean, it's, I think, is that showing up on camera? Or is it, it's probably too much. It's probably too much for the camera. There's just too much glam there. Absolutely amazing. So $1 for that. And I went particularly to this, I mean, there was some beautiful, all sorts of things. There were patterns, there was all sorts of fabric, there was trims, there was cottons, there was everything you can imagine. There was embroidery stuff, there was everything. But I was going particularly for certain things. So I got that. And then this one. Oh, this is a blue and red sort of sparkly beaded trim. The colours are really, really glorious. Now, I'm not going to use this on this project. It is really lovely. Maybe it would show up better on the card. Yeah, so it's really lovely. All beautiful beaded in a sort of a red and blue. I'm not going to use it on this project, but I couldn't walk past it because I just thought it was so unusual and I really loved it. I also got some feathers, little bits of feather. They're these sort of headbandy pieces, but they are actually falling apart, so I may or may not use them. But the idea is, I don't know, there's a sort of 20s thing there. This one's in a slightly better nick, but yeah, I don't know. I've yet to work that bit out. But I got some feathers. They were just a couple of dollars, so that was sort of worth trying. Now, the other thing that I got was this. I was really pleased about it. I have been researching on YouTube as to how to make the holes in my new piece of leather for my kilt. If you remember a kilt that I bought from a charity shop, no, it was Recycle Boutique, a while ago, and it was missing one of the straps. My daughter's given me a piece of leather so I can cut out the shape, but I couldn't make the punch holes to sort of put the, you know, the buckle through. And they had this $2. So I was so pleased. So now I'll be able to hole punch the leather perfectly. Really pleased with that. And then the other thing, come with me, I'll have to show you. I was so pleased with this. I got a whole bunch of ostrich feathers. The entire bunch of ostrich feathers for $2. And I picked it up and I thought, they're mine. And I walked around this show with holding my big bunch of ostrich feathers, and I thought they were absolutely fabulous. But when I got home, they just instantly went in the vase on my mantelpiece and looked like they belonged. So that's where they're going to stay. So I hope you enjoyed my little show and tell of all the bits and pieces I've got just recently. I mean, obviously a lot of them are themed for this Art Deco weekend, but there's a couple of other really gorgeous little bits and pieces that I got as well. So I'm really pleased with all these pieces, and there is sort of a purpose and a use for all of them. So now I just need to get on and do some sewing, don't I?